The desperate words echoed through the 911 line. Medic, 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 he's not responsive. A cry that froze the entire chess world in disbelief. In that single moment, the brilliance, passion, and promise of Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky's life slipped into tragedy. A young man who inspired millions through his love for chess was suddenly gone, leaving behind questions that no one can easily answer. What truly happened that night? And could it have been prevented? Daniel Naroditsky was more than just a talented player. He was a symbol of modern chess. Born in California, he showed extraordinary talent from childhood and became a grandmaster before most kids his age even learned the rules of the game. He wasn't only a competitor, but also a mentor, writer, and beloved online personality. His gentle humor and teaching style made him a fan favorite on YouTube and Twitch. But behind the calm voice and confident smile, there were growing shadows of stress, doubt, and immense pressure, both from competition and from an increasingly toxic online environment. In the days before his death, Naroditsky's outward life seemed ordinary. He had posted a lighthearted video, reassuring fans that he was back from a short break and ready to dive into more chess content. That cheerful tone, however, masked what was happening internally. Just 2 days later, his friends found him unresponsive on his couch in his Charlotte home. The 911 recording captures the panic of that moment. The voice on the other end is shaking, filled with dread and disbelief. The dispatcher's calm directions, asking them to check his breathing and lay him flat, contrast sharply with the chaos unfolding inside the room. The repeated pleas for help, he's not responding, carry the weight of desperation that words alone can barely convey. The tragedy didn't come out of nowhere. For months, Naroditsky had been caught in a storm of controversy that shook the very foundation of online chess. Former world champion Vladimir Kramnik had publicly accused several players, including Naroditsky, of cheating in online matches. Though no official proof was ever presented, the allegations spread like wildfire. The internet turned hostile, with fans and detractors debating endlessly. Naroditsky, usually composed and focused, seemed increasingly disturbed by the scrutiny. In one of his final live streams, he admitted how painful it was to be doubted by people who once admired him. He said, "Every time I start performing well, people assume the worst." That sentence, spoken almost casually, now feels haunting. Those close to him noticed the change. He was sleeping less, spending long hours preparing content, and seemed burdened by the pressure to prove his innocence. Even during his last live stream, friends reportedly tried to convince him to take a break, but he refused, determined to push through. That determination, so admired by his followers, may have come at a cost. It's unclear what happened in his final hours, but reports suggest that exhaustion, emotional distress, and possibly substance use could have played a role. The investigation into his death remains ongoing, but the emotional impact is already irreversible. What makes this story even more devastating is the silence that surrounded it until it was too late. Many within the chess community now argue that the institutions responsible, the International Chess Federation, FIDE, and Chess.com, failed to step in when the situation began spiraling. Kramnik later stated that he didn't feel responsible for Naroditsky's death, insisting that he only wanted fairness in the game and that he had warned officials about suspicious data. Yet critics accuse him of using his platform irresponsibly, publicly naming and shaming without evidence. Both FIDE and Chess.com have since come under fire for not addressing the accusations more decisively or offering mental health support to those involved. The aftermath has left a painful mark on the chess world. Players, commentators, and fans have flooded social media with tributes and grief. Many have also turned their attention to a larger issue: mental health in competitive chess. The very same digital revolution that helped Naroditsky reach millions also exposed him to relentless public judgment. The online chess scene, once a friendly space for learning and sharing, has become a pressure cooker of expectations, rivalry, and accusation. The tragedy of Naroditsky's death forces everyone to look inward. How much can one person endure before the love of the game becomes unbearable? In interviews following the incident, Kramnik expressed sadness and shock, but maintained that the responsibility did not lie with him. His statement, "It's heartbreaking, but I am not guilty," fueled even more debate. Some defended him, saying he was being unfairly blamed, while others condemned his earlier words as reckless and cruel. The divide has deepened across the community, turning what should have been a time of unity and mourning into a battle over ethics, accountability, and empathy. Amid all the noise, one truth stands unshaken. Daniel Naroditsky was a gifted player, teacher, and human being who gave more to chess than most could in a lifetime. He inspired countless beginners, produced hundreds of hours of educational content, and bridged the gap between traditional chess and the digital world. His sudden death is a reminder that behind every username, every video, every smiling face, there's a person with struggles we may never fully understand. The 911 call is more than just a record of a medical emergency. It is a haunting echo of a life slipping away under unbearable weight. The dispatcher's steady voice, the panic of friends, the tragic stillness at the end, all of it captures the devastating truth that sometimes help arrives just moments too late. It leaves behind an unanswerable question. If someone had reached out sooner, could the story have ended differently? Now, as the chess world tries to heal, discussions about responsibility, empathy, and mental health have begun anew. Naroditsky's death may become the catalyst for long overdue change in how the community handles online disputes, allegations, and emotional crises. Perhaps his legacy will not only live on through his brilliant games and teachings, but also through a collective promise that no player, no matter how strong, should ever have to face their battles alone. Daniel Naroditsky's story is not one of defeat, it's a lesson. It's about the cost of fame, the fragility of human emotion, and the unseen struggles behind success. It's about the importance of compassion in a world too quick to judge. And it's about a young man whose love for the game will never be forgotten, even if the sound of that desperate call still echoes painfully in the hearts of all who admired him.